You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Good afternoon. My name is George Haggerty, and before I call this meeting to order, I will note for the record that I serve as the acting chair for today's meeting. I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the New York Transportation Development Corporation for Thursday, September 14th, 2023. I'd like to note for the record that this meeting is being webcast and that we welcome public comment on the items on our agenda. I will also note for the record that the public has been given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments to nytdc@esd.ny.gov by noon yesterday. And no comments were received from the public concerning today's agenda items, and no members of the public are here today to provide comments. The directors have received the relevant written materials in advance of today's meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. Before we begin with the substantive portion of our meeting, I would like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to today's agenda items. If so, make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We will then be sure that you may recuse yourself from any discussion or vote with regard to the item. Hearing none. Our first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the directors' meeting of March 21st, 2023.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Are there any questions, comments, or additions or deletions? Oh, sorry. If not, I will entertain a motion for approval. So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. The motion carries. I would like now to ask Miyoko Kubo to present the next item on today's agenda, a request for, among other things, the appointments of senior managing underwriter, additional underwriters, and financial advisors, and authorization to take related actions. Miyoko, when you're ready, please begin.
Thank you. As part of the redevelopment of LaGuardia Airport, Delta Airlines Inc. has requested that the New York Transportation Development Corporation issue tax-exempt bonds in approximate amount of $900 million. The proceeds of which, together with $1,383,495,000 of New York Transportation Development Corporation Special Facilities Revenue Bonds, Series 2018, Delta Airlines Inc., LaGuardia Airport Terminal C and D redevelopment project issued in 2018, and the $1,511,015,000 of New York Transportation Development Corporation Special Facilities Revenue Bond Series 2020, Delta Airlines Inc., LaGuardia Airport Terminal CMD redevelopment project issued in 2020 will be used by Delta, the borrower, to fund the demolition of existing terminals CMD, the construction of a new terminal which borrower leases from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and other related improvements to the facilities at the LaGuardia Airport, the project. Today, we ask that the directors authorize the following actions that I will discuss in further detail in relation to this bond issuance: the selection of the senior managing underwriter and additional underwriters, the appointment of financial advisors if utilized, the holding of public defer hearing, and the preparation of documents in connection with the bonds. Selection of underwriters. Citigroup Global Markets Inc. Citi has been selected as the senior managing underwriter for the bond. Citi is on the corporation's pre-qualified list of underwriters that was created after an RFP process by Empire State Development, or ESD, and adopted by the corporation on February 24th, 2020. The borrower selected Citi for the extensive experience in all aspects of municipal finance, the extensive experience as an underwriter on other ESD and TDC bond issuances, and their responses and ratings in the pre-qualification process. The corporation, in consultation with the borrower, will have the option to select other underwriters from the corporation's pre-qualified list of underwriters. Selection of financial advisor. The corporation also may select the financial advisor from its pre-qualified list of financial advisors that was created after an RFP process by ESD and adopted by the corporation on February 24, 2020. A financial advisor may be selected based on its extensive experience in all aspects of municipal finance, particularly airport financing. Hourly rate proposal subject to a cap of $250,000. Extensive experience as a financial advisor on other bond issuances, and responses and ratings in the pre-qualification process. The selected firm will be paid by the borrower pursuant to a pre-financing agreement. Federal tax law requirements. Federal tax law, specifically the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act, commonly referred to as FEFRA, require the hearing prior to the issuance of qualified private activity bonds in certain circumstances. Corporation has been requested to act as an issuer of qualified private activity bonds for the project. Consequently, a deferred hearing is required, and applicable notice period for the deferred hearing is 7 days. FEFRA also requires that following the hearing, the applicable representative of the issuer of qualified private activity bonds, in this case, the governor, approve the transaction. Documents. It is intended that the bonds will be issued to finance a portion of the project. In order to do that, the related documents must be drafted and approved for the issuance of the bonds expeditiously. An additional TDC board meeting will occur so that the board of directors can approve the formal final documents. In conclusion, staff asks that the directors authorize the selection of Citi as senior managing underwriter for the bonds and the ability to appoint additional underwriters as the deal progresses. The appointment of financial advisors, if utilized. That the corporation take actions related to a holding of deferred hearing and the preparation of documents in connection with the bonds. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the directors with regard to this item? Are there any comments from the public with regard to this item? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No response. Thank you, the motion carries. Unless someone objects, Myoko will provide one presentation on the next three agenda items requesting authorizations to enter into contracts for co-bond counsel services in connection with the LaGuardia Airport Terminal's C&D redevelopment project and authorizations to take related actions. Myoko, when you're ready, please begin.
Thank you again. Today, we ask that the directors authorize the corporation to enter into legal services contract for bond counsel and issuers counsel in connection with the LaGuardia Airport Terminal's C&D redevelopment project that I previously described. Bond counsel is needed to ensure the corporation's compliance with the federal tax law requirement for an opinion from bond counsel on tax exempt bonds and to ensure compliance with applicable securities laws and market practices. It is recommended that Squire, Laws, US LLP, MDC and Associates, PAPC, and another firm serve as co-bond counsel on this transaction. Both firms were selected from the corporation's pre-qualified counsel list. Issuers counsel is needed to ensure the corporation's compliance with disclosure requirements for issuers of tax-exempt bonds under federal securities law and market practices. It is recommended that Robert Ray LLP serve as issuers counsel on this transaction. Robert Ray, a certified MWB firm, was selected from the corporation's pre-qualified counsel list as having bond financing expertise and experience working on a variety of transactions. The appointments of these law firms will represent an equitable distribution of work among the corporation's rotating slate of bond law firms and MWB law firms to handle the corporation's debt in terms of size, number of transactions, fees received, and lengths of time since their last engagement with the corporation. Contracts will be funded in their entirety by the borrower from the bond proceeds on or about the closing of the bond as agreed upon by the corporation and the borrower in refinancing agreement. Counsel will work at a small discount from their typical hourly billing rate. Counsel will agree that the corporation will not be obligated to pay any amount for services described, except to the extent, if any, that the corporation receives funds from the borrower for that purpose. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments from the directors with regard to any of these three items? Are there any comments from the public with regard to any of these three items? I'll now entertain a motion for approval on all three items.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Thank you, the motion carries. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you, everyone, for your participation in today's meeting. We're done.